The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
Hey everybody, Kevin here. Before we start this evening's show, we want to take a quick moment to thank all of our amazing patrons, Patreon people who give us money to make us better. We want to thank all those great people. So we'll start with our executive producers, Joey Splats, Carol Underwood, Dante Bellini Jr., Jared Gautier, Dude427, Kevin Austin, Josh Barboni, Tammy Ryan, Robert Miller, Tim Wolf, Joe Brooks, Martini G, Nasty Boots, Dave Ray, Jesse Armstrong. Those are executive producers. Then we have our super awesome gold executive producer, Mr. Sheldon Benedict, Tony Baker, and Panache Malloy. And then, of course, our super ultra awesome platinum executive producers, Corey Hicks. You can follow his gaming streams on twitch.tv/chicks_18. And the marvelous Mr. Mark Moody. You can see his movie reviews on youtube.com/Mr. Moody Reviews. So thank you to all those amazing patrons for helping make us better. PSVG Podcast Network, along with the We the Nerdy groups, all Sean Capri's amazing stuff, Nintendo Nostalgia, Warp Whistle, and Bad Bit Games. We thank you all in this journey for making us better. And if you're wondering what else is about, hey, head on over to patreon.com/makeusbetter and learn all the details on how just one donation can support so many amazing and hardworking podcasters. And we will take all of those funds and either do giveaways or just simply do things to make improvements to make our podcast better for all of you, because we appreciate you guys tuning in. So thanks, patreon.com/makeusbetter. And now let's get on with the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of PSVG, the official podcast to play some video games in the PSVG Podcast Network, the only gaming podcast able to take down more hot dogs than Joey Chestnuts on the 4th of July. It is I, your host, Kevin. With me this evening, it's been so long. Justin, how are you?
I'm sweating.
Yeah, me too. It's hot.
Well, I also just ran like 3 miles and immediately took a shower and jumped down here to do this podcast. So I'm still actively sweating from that.
Thank you for making me feel inadequate and lazy for thinking, hey, I'm just doing 3 podcasts tonight and it's warm. It's so tough. Justin's like, yeah, I just ran a marathon, took a shower, and now I'm going to podcast with you all. Thanks for coming, Justin. We appreciate it. And also with us this evening, it's the Lord of the Isle, the master of the board games himself. Kyle, how are you doing, buddy?
You know, you have Justin who's here running, and I was going to talk about this delicious Beach Pilot Strawberry Wheat Ale I'm drinking from Stevens Point Brewery. So, you know, you got your runner on that side, you got your person having a beer on this side, and then we have you, the podcasting spectacular person who I'm sure is drinking G Fuel. Exactly, of course.
Yep.
I do need to clarify, just because I'm running 3 miles does not mean I'm not drinking my beer. I'm still drinking a Dirty Blonde. I run so that I can maintain my fat lifestyle. That's what it's all about.
Just keeping it in moderation, right?
Exactly.
Just like, okay,
yes,
that's fair.
Yes.
That's fair. I mean, we're all kind of, a lot of us on the Discord over the Make Us Better Discord are on a somewhat of a weight loss journey, all doing different things. So I know Justin signed up for it. 10-mile run, you said?
10 miles, yep.
10 miles. When is that?
That's in September. So I got a little over a month to get ready for it.
Nah, that's good. I mean, I used to do 10 miles, but they were, I would power walk it. Like you see those people do like the penguin walk. I would do those things. Unfortunately, due to my back, I can't really do those anymore, but I've done those, and they were in like the last week of July, which was god awful.
Yep. That sounds horrible.
Yes. September sounds a lot nicer, but I mean, I wouldn't normally run them. So I'm there with you, but yeah, we're all kind of this little weight loss journey. So if you want to join us over in the Discord, we have a special channel for all kind of supporting each other for all the different things that we're doing. So I've kind of been eating a little wiser, cut out sugar and carbs for my meal. Justin's running, and you know, we're all doing all of the things. So it's all good. All right. So guys, let's jump right into it. What have you guys been playing? It's been a long time for you guys. So I'll go last here. Justin, what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
So I it's been a long time since I've cast. I think the last time I was on, I was still playing through God of War, like over a month ago. So I did finally beat God of War, phenomenal ending. You know, I really loved that game. Had no complaints. And then I kind of cooled my jets on my PS4. I haven't really touched it in a while, other than, you know, for Netflix and movies. And I went over to the Switch and I've been playing Yoku's Island Express. Like, I've been playing that every night.
Really?
Yes. I really love that game. I had my doubts and I was like, you know what? I think I don't know if it was 15 or 20, but I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And yeah, it turns out that a Metroidvania with I can't think of the word right now.
Are you talking about the fact that it's a dung beetle or about the pinball part?
Pinball.
Okay,
I literally,
which part are we talking about?
My brain, I think, is on fire right now. I couldn't think of the word pinball. Yes, pinball, Metrovania. Yes, it all works together really well. I really like that game. I'm still just kind of cruising through it. I've gotten stuck a few times where I didn't know exactly where to go. But then I almost felt like I was. I don't know if you remember like playing games when you were younger, when you would like you'd hit a spot and you almost felt like you were cheating because you're like gaming the system somehow. That's kind of how I've been with this game, where it's like I don't know if I'm doing things in the correct order. I'm just somehow making my guy fly to the other side of the lake or whatever, and I don't know. It's fun. It reminds me a lot of like, you know, an older SNES game or something. But yeah,
That's funny. That's not a game I would sit there and be like, hey, I think Justin would be playing that game. That's interesting.
well, you know, I had Ni no Kuni 2 or Yoku's Island Express. They both sound like anime, but really only one of them is kind of. So yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what that game was. He said, so I looked it up, but the second Kyle said Dung Beetle, I'm like, oh, that's the one that sort of is like I heard of the game, but I could not place it in my memory.
It's surprisingly good. Like I was, yeah, I gave it a shot, and I'm really happy I did.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. All right.
Perfect
So
Switch game, too.
well, yeah, it definitely seems in that category of Switch titles here. I'm trying to find the price. So yeah, $20 right now, for the digital version there. So all good. God of War though. So I know Kyle's played, and you've beaten it, right, Kyle?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so like I'm the only one that hasn't. I was hoping to borrow Donnie's copy, but Nathan borrowed it, and I don't know why, because Nathan doesn't play PlayStation games. He's got a PS4 Pro. He has it hooked up. I think he said he updated everything, but he still hasn't even put the disc in yet. So I'm like, dude, give it back then so I can play it. But
I think he has Uncharted 4 still in the plastic, if I recall correctly.
I think he does too. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Horrible.
at least give Nathan some credit, I guess, for buying the PlayStation exclusives. But I mean, yeah. So I don't know when I'm gonna get to play God of War. I'm just hoping Donnie let me borrow it before trading it in. But I don't know if it's gonna be worth anything by the time Nathan gives it back to him. So we'll see how that works. So Kyle, what have you been playing then lately, sir?
Well, I'm going to be honest, actually, speaking of God of War, ever since I played God of War, I've had a really hard time getting into any other game. Every game that I play, this is not what I want to be playing. I'm not really feeling it. I'm really have been struggling since then to feel at home in any game. So currently what I've been playing Luminous Remastered, just because I always enjoy a really fun, solid puzzle game. I talked about this on Board with Video Games as well, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but I really like the game. I've always liked Luminous. I enjoyed it back on the PSP. I just struggle with it because I can't make blocks. I'm really good at making lines, but it's really hard for me to transition my mental thought to making a 2x2 block, not a 1x4 line. And I don't know what it is, but I've always run into that mental block. Obviously, it's Tetris, but I've always run into that mental block with that game. But I love how the game plays, the concept behind it, the music, the different skins and everything that you're playing through, I think is really, really awesome. I like it. I enjoy it. If you are a fan of puzzle games, I think it is one of those must-play puzzle games for certain. I'm playing it on PS4, but I'm certain it probably plays pretty spectacularly on Switch as well.
Yeah, Donnie talked about it. He was on the most recent If We Were in Nintendo, and he was talking about it and how much he loved it. He says it's one of those rare games he actually got his wife to play too. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we know how Donnie is, how when he has the opportunity, he will sleep in, which is a luxury I don't think any of us get to enjoy ever. But he's like, yeah, I'll wake up at 10, and my wife will sit on the couch, and she's like, beat your high score. And Donnie's just like, you know, but
yeah,
so he's enjoying it for sure.
I'll say I played the 2-player mode with my wife a few times, and we have to be in the right mood to play that. We enjoy playing games together, but it's very stressful, the 2-player mode is, because how the 2-player mode works is the screen is split down the middle, and you're both trying to bake your blocks, but it pushes then the middle of the screen. Like if I'm on the left and I'm doing well, it pushes it to the right, so they have less space to operate in until they can push it back. And as soon as it gets all the way to the one side, then you win, and it's best out of 3. So it's very stressful, and it puts a lot of pressure on pace and trying to just make things as fast as you can. So it definitely is a stressful game. But interestingly enough, when obviously Overcooked 2 got announced for Switch a while ago, and then it was recently, I think maybe during the week of E3 or just after E3, it was on the PlayStation blog. So I sent it to my wife one day. I was like, hey, just so you know, this
is for domestic violence.
She was thrilled. She is so excited about Overcooked 2. We played a lot of the original Overcooked. We have 3 stars on everything. So I'm sure August 7th, once that rolls around, for the next few days at least, I will be playing some Overcooked 2. And hopefully I will still be married afterwards. I figure we got through the first one still married. Hopefully we can get through the second one still married as well.
I'm torn. So like I'm planning on getting it on Switch only because a lot of the other guys get on Switch is like you can do online multiplayer. So I'm like, oh, this could be ridiculous for all of us here at PSVG. But then part of me is like, man, that's Overcooked was the game that made me buy 4 PlayStation controllers.
Right.
Like I went and dropped all that money in the stupid controls. Cost more in controls than it did in the game itself. But I like you. We 3-starred everything. My wife and I play it. When it's just the two of us, we play better than when we invite the kids along. That's when it starts getting yelly. I guess to put it. So yeah, but I'm really excited for it too. But then I'm like, I want to play on Switch. But then I'm wondering, like, can it possibly control as well on Switch as it does on PS4? And I'm not about to buy the original one again to see how it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine playing with the Joy-Con being like, this works really good. Like, I just don't see it. But
well, I know a lot of the PSVG people and the probably Make Us Better people are going to get it on Switch, and that's great. But this is very much a game that I play with my wife, and my wife very much is a fan of the PlayStation controller. I've tried to do some Switch stuff with her, and she just really isn't into it. So that is what has made my decision. That is what my wife and I play together. No offense, if I played with any of you, she'd probably get really mad at me. So it is getting purchased on PS4. So
hey, well, maybe then what I'll do is I'll get on the PS4 as well. And since you buy it on PS4, that means Josh gets it on PS4, and we eventually can all play together after you and your wife are already 3-star levels.
That sounds great. That sounds perfect.
I think maybe I'll do that then, so that way it's easier for my whole family to play. I think works that way, so we'll go with that.
Awesome. Another game I've been playing though. Speaking of things I've been playing with my wife, we actually picked up Lego Incredibles.
Oh yes.
So it is another Lego game. It is actually a pretty easy Lego game. Not gonna lie, it's not that challenging. But it does one thing. So there's nothing revolutionary about this game. And if you've ever played any, especially the current Lego games, it's an open world. You do a story level, and then you're kind of put into this open world where you can then choose to continue the story or go and, clean up all of the random side activities that you need to do. In this one, they have like crime waves and things like that you got to go take care of. The odd thing that they do in this game, though, is it starts with the second movie.
Really?
Yes, so when you go into play, the game starts at the very end of the first Incredibles. They're walking out of the race.
Yeah, and
Underminer comes up. Yep, Underminer comes up. And that is where the game starts and takes you through the entire second movie. And then after you beat the second movie, it unlocks the first movie.
That's weird.
It's super weird. And I was actually really happy because when I picked up Mario Tennis Aces, I bought this as well because my wife really wanted to play it. And I usually don't buy these games on disc, but I was like, well, I'll get this and then eventually just trade it back in. I usually wait till they go on super sale and get them. But she was excited about it, so I got it. And I was really happy the person at GameStop told me that. Because he was like, hey, just this starts with the second movie, because we hadn't watched it yet. Seen the second movie.
I haven't seen it yet either, yeah.
So we hadn't seen it yet. So I'm really glad he said something, because we just waited then to start it until we had seen the second movie. So yeah, it's one of those, I think that's a really weird decision. Totally. But other than that, it is a pretty standard Lego game. It's a little bit easier. The challenge is getting all the things unlocked, getting like your, true hero or whatever you want to call it, where you collect enough studs in the level. All that's a little bit easier. You don't have to necessarily get all the red bricks and unlock all the multipliers and all that stuff. But it's still a fun time. Only run into a couple weird glitches, which again, pretty standard for a Lego game. Yeah. So if you enjoy The Incredibles and you like that, I think it's definitely worth it. One thing that is a little weird about it, though, is all the extra characters you unlock. Yes, a lot of them are tied to The Incredibles, but it's mostly a Pixar game.
I was
So
going to ask who the
yeah.
other characters are because I'm like, there's not enough people in Incredibles to.
Yeah, so I've unlocked like people from Finding Nemo, people from Brave, like, and I'm sure there's many other characters that when I look, I can guess who they're going to be. But yeah, it's definitely not just Pixar or just Incredibles people. It's kind of a Pixar game, which is kind of cool. Like, it lets you do some neat things, but that clearly means I don't think we're going to be getting a Finding Nemo Lego game.
Yeah,
things like that.
I don't think it warrants it per se. I think Incredibles is probably the best fit, other than maybe Toy Story, I think, for these types of games. So it's kind of good you throw in the whole Pixar cast there too. Yeah. So question for you then, because you're the other Lego fan, I think, out of all PSVG along with myself. The DC villains. How do you feel about that one?
I will get it. Like, I eventually play all of them, but it will be one that I wait on. It's not going to be a day one. It'll be something that, PlayStation right now has their mid-year sale. Like, all the Lego games, like the older ones are like $8 and all the other newer ones are like 15 or 20. I'll wait till a sale like that and I'll pick it up. Like I said, I think they're just really, if I am in a mood where I don't know what to play, it is a really easy thing to sit down for a half an hour and play and actually make progress on.
That's true.
So I enjoy that. And then the only other thing that I've been playing is, Overwatch as always. Still grinding away. Been playing some on Xbox now. Been playing with Coach Mo a little bit. Been playing with Josh, over there. So building my characters up and all that good stuff. Trying to get to a high enough level where I can actually do competitive over there. But just, always plugging away at the Overwatch constantly. But that, as of recently, is what has been on my playlist.
All right. Fair enough. And in the spirit of playing things constantly, Fortnite. I'm not going to talk about it. That's still a thing with me for sure. Played a ton of it. Yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday and the day before. I played a lot of Fortnite. Anyway, played that. I did try and clear off some things off my plate then. So I finished up the campaign in Hyrule Warriors on the Switch finally, the main campaign, which was a little bit longer than what it was when I played it on the 3DS because the DLC is, for at least part of it, is tied into the main storyline this one. So it's not a separate story. They kind of appended it, made it longer. So I finally beat that, and I'm still playing through the challenge maps now to try and unlock the additional characters. There's something like 12 more characters I can unlock, but I have to do it in this other mode. So I still need to upgrade my characters and go through these special challenges to get to them. But still absolutely love that game. If you're a Switch owner and you just like a game that, much like Kyle said with Lego, you can just kind of pick up and play and make some progression without playing for a long period of time, this is the ideal game for that. There's a lot of meat on the bone. It's definitely worth the $60 for the massive amount of content Nintendo pumped into this one. Almost done with the Vietnam expansion in Far Cry 5. Kyle, do you and Josh have the pass for that?
I think Josh may have purchased it. I bought the base game, but I didn't buy the expansion. Okay. He might have bought the season pass to add onto it. I honestly don't know because, as he likes to remind me, I still haven't finished Far Cry 5.
Yeah, fair enough. This one, Justin, do you have Far Cry 5?
No, I'm still waiting to pick that one up.
Definitely pick it up. When you can see a sale, grab it. It's fantastic. Still a lot of our game of the year. I know Kyle doesn't feel that way, but
it's okay. It's very average, Justin. It's very average.
All right. Well, so you're saying it's a Far Cry game?
Exactly. It is a Far Cry game.
Sweet.
Okay, fair enough. But it's closer to a Far Cry 3 than it was a Far Cry 4 or Far Cry Primal. So I'll say it that much. It's better vein. Anyway, so the Vietnam expansion, I've talked about it a little bit. It's hard as heck. It does get easier the longer you dig away at it. I'm at the final piece of it, but I can't beat this last mission to get out of Vietnam, if you will. So I'm still plugging away in that in the Xbox when I can. I did play the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. The Life is Strange expansion type thing is free. I am not a Life is Strange fan. I've said that numerous times. I tried playing the first one, could not get into it at all. Did not play the Before the Storm or whatever it is. This I loved. I will say the story. I don't know if it's just the character himself, was just so childlike and using his imagination, stuff like that. When you've seen the trailer all over E3, it definitely has a different tone, I think, than what we've seen in Life is Strange. But then it still has those hard hitting moments that get you a little bit choked up, even though it's a very short. Like I think I knocked it out in maybe an hour. But I know Josh also kind of toiled around and spent like 45 minutes just looking and not actually progressing the story at all. So, but this may have me sold on Life is Strange too. So this might be a joint purchase for Donnie and I, but it's definitely fun. Definitely check it out. It's free. So why not? You can knock it out in an afternoon very easily. But the main game I want to talk about, and I don't know if either of you have played it yet, Detroit Become Human.
I am halfway through.
Okay. And Justin, you haven't played it?
No, those games don't do it for me.
That's fair. So I had only played it about an hour before, just to kind of get a feel for it. I'm like, wow, these character models are stunning. Like, I don't think I've ever seen people in a game look better ever. Now, yes, some of the other things, the items they interact with and stuff like that, may not look best. And Kyle, the main example I have is when the guy was painting, the brush just didn't move at all. He's like poking it and just like rubbing it on a canvas. But
it's a little weird.
But the character himself was like, oh my god, this is incredible. So I totally forgive him for it. I've seen conflicting opinions with people on the story and whether or not they can get through it. I know Josh played a little bit and he was just like, nope, I don't think I'm even doing it anymore. Holy crap, this story. That's all I'm going to say. I am floored by the narrative handed to me here in this game. It is incredible. There are moments where it's extremely hard to stomach. I will totally admit that. There are things that happen that make you feel sick. There's parts of the games that make you feel anxious. But the one thing I will say, even more so than their other games that they did in the past, Heavy Rain, stuff like that, the tree as far as progressions of each section. So I will say I do like the way they do it. You have a scene, and you can knock out each scene in maybe 20 minutes. Like, they're very brief, so you can go back and replay them if you want and make different choices. The choices here seem to probably, I'm still on my first playthrough, but they look like they would radically change the rest of the game. It's not a Telltale where, like, yep, you can make choices, but ultimately you're going to get to the same ending. For the most part, there'll be very minor differences there. This game seems like it would be totally different depending on what happened. The very first scene, I went and looked at the worldwide stats, and the ending I got, only like 9% of people got. And I was just like, what did I do wrong here? Because I got a radically different ending than apparently everybody else. So if you like a narrative, yes, the control scheme can get a little wonky, stuff like that. But if you're looking for a fantastic story, I cannot recommend this high enough, and I'm not even through yet. I'm probably maybe halfway through too, Kyle. I mean, I knocked out quite a few hours today on it, especially, and I'm going to jump back into it again tonight before bed, I think. So
have you felt, because one of my things with David Cage games in general, and I think it applies to Detroit as well, I feel like he tends to do the smaller moments well, but is a little ham-fisted in the overall like theme story that he tries to do, that he gets a little, I don't want to say on the nose, but on the nose for lack of a better term. But I feel like his interactions between people tend to be pretty good. Would you feel that's true in Detroit?
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. It just the moments are what make it, when there are moments that just give you the raw emotions of whatever's going on, but then the rest of the world is kind of flat. And I mean, and you have your tropes in storytelling. You have all, in every kind of thing, like the cop who's like basically a jerk to you big time, and not just your gruff partner, but the other guy that's kind of a jerk to you. I mean, you have all those character tropes that you kind of see in everything, but there are just certain moments you're like, man, this is genius. And I know there's not enough people playing this game, I think, than what should have. I think it came out at a weird time, too close to God of War, perhaps, for I think a lot of people. But the narrative here is remarkable. I'm hoping the ending holds up to the way the rest of this game is going. The three storylines, I guess, that you have going on at the same time, they haven't intersected for me yet, but it seems like they're really about to, and possibly like the next scene I'm in, we're finally gonna get some crossovers. So I want to see how that's handled. But right now, the three individual stories are phenomenal. But when they get together, I don't know, it may come muddled for me. I'm not sure.
I mean, there's a ton of stories with androids or robots or whatever. Like, is this game telling anything different, or is it just those small moments that are making it worth it?
I think it's telling it different, at least for me. Okay. You can see a lot of lines drawn to, I want to say, more than thinking of it as like an android versus human, think of it more of like almost a racist thing. Yeah. Where it's not, androids, it's, insert whatever race you want to be here, and how people discriminate against that. It's almost that, but there's very different sides to it, even amongst the androids themselves. Each of them are tackling the same issue, the overarching issue of some humans don't appreciate androids, or however you want to mark it, from very different angles, very different approaches. They kind of seem to tackle the same issue. So it's very interesting to see. You can draw a lot of lines to what still happens in today's world, I think. Yeah.
Well, I think that was the one thing that I was like worried about. I was like, I don't really want to play another android, storyline or whatever. But if it's telling something different, it's definitely, I was probably going to get it eventually anyways. So, but
it's definitely a great, sale deal. I mean, Seth and I split it, so we're not out $60 each.
Yeah.
You know, we both split it, so we're both paying, you know, $30 to experience it, which I think that is the perfect. I don't want to say perfect price point, because I know Donnie hates it when I put a price on a game, but for me, where it's something like I can't see replaying this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think $30 is $40 is a very comfortable price point for most people to jump in and enjoy this, I think.
So even with the huge spreading dialogues, you don't think you'll go back and play it more?
I will eventually, but it's not like a Lego game where you can just pick it up and play it again at any point. Like, it's not, you know what I mean, because it's so heavy, because it's so narrative driven, you have to take time before your business. So like the perfect example is like Heavy Rain's on Games of Gold on PlayStation Plus right now. I haven't played Heavy Rain in 4 or 5 years, so I can go back and play it now. But it's going to be a long time, I think, before I visit Detroit again. Like, it's not like I'm going to beat it and jump right back in again. That's not going to happen. But maybe a year or two from now, I'll go back and play it again for sure, I think. But all right, well, that's enough from us. We've talked a lot about what we've been playing, which is due because you guys unfortunately don't get to talk about it as much. So we appreciate that. But let's listen in and see what you guys have to say. It's time to check the messages.
Message for you, sir.
First question comes from a very non-vocal listener. We don't really hear from him that much. Donnie Reese at Playing Nintendo asks, since we have some Islanders on here, what do you guys think about Todd Howard's comments regarding Sony and crossplay with Fallout 76? Is this story just going to keep gaining steam with every online multiplayer release going forward? So, as Donnie alluded to, we have our PlayStation experts on the show, but I have some insight here too as well. Justin, your thoughts?
Yeah, I as big of a PlayStation fan as I am, and you know, I play a lot of my games on PS4. I think that this story is going to keep building, and PS4 or PlayStation is going to keep getting raked in the coals. I think they don't necessarily need to give up everything. I think that's what they're worried about. I think they're worried about just like going all in or nothing. And unfortunately, they're choosing nothing. And I think there's a avenue in the middle there. I understand. I can only imagine how messy online structures and all this privacy stuff. I can only imagine how messy that is to deal with. So I understand the hesitance to do crossplay and give some of a player's information to another company. But there's a way to do it, obviously, because other companies are doing it. So I think they just need to figure it out. I think the story's going to keep building. I don't think Todd Howard is going to be the first person to say something like this. I think since he's done it, I think more publishers are going to jump on and be like, "Yep, that's why we don't have cross-platform play." The biggest one I think will have if anyone from the Call of Duty team ever comes out and says that, then Sony's going to have a crap storm. It's going to be bad for them. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think they need to figure something out soon. Otherwise, this negative Sony press is going to keep happening.
I agree, and I think you're right. So I was going to disagree with you at first when you said if somebody from Call of Duty camp says something, that'll be the straw that breaks. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, Fortnite has more players than Call of Duty does right now, but they have they have all these exclusive deals with the Call of Duty team and getting stuff first. So if you have somebody that you're partnering with now knocking you for it, that just doesn't look good for business at all. But yeah, I'm with you. I think this is just going to continue to gain steam. I think every game that comes out, this may be a talking point. So we have this talking point now of like, hey, game's announced, and we make fun of it here on our Discord and stuff like, hey, it's not coming to Switch. Like, that's the joke. I think the new thing is it's not cross-platform on Sony. Like, that's going to be the new line, the parallel that gamers draw whenever they see an online game with PlayStation saying like, hey, well, I can't play with my friends unless they're on PlayStation. And it, for me, it doesn't, I know enough people that have all of the games and all of the systems rather. So it doesn't bother me that much, but it does seem silly that, hey, if everybody else is doing it at this point, guys, you sold more consoles. We get it. So what are you losing here? It's not, you make a game cross-platform isn't going to say, well, I'm not buying a PlayStation now because I can just play with my friends on PlayStation with my Xbox. I don't think that's really happening in a majority of cases. Like, I don't think that's the rationale behind gamers' mentality here. It's kind of, what platform do most of my friends have that I want to play it on? And that's the driving force. But yeah, they need to do something here. And they did say they were looking into it since the Fortnite incident, but then this came out and they kind of had a no comment on this too. And this, this is a big deal. If what happens with Anthem, like that I think is like a next one that everyone's gonna be asking questions about. Like, well, is Anthem gonna be cross-platform? Because they haven't said yet. But if they do come out and say it, and then it's not, then that may be the next thing that people will not go. Like Destiny already isn't. We know that, and so, so on and so forth. So we'll see what happens. But Kyle, your thoughts?
Well, as a primarily PlayStation player, anyone who doesn't own a PlayStation and play there, I'm instantly skeptical of. So whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
True
I'm
that.
totally kidding. Yeah, I think I don't necessarily know if PlayStation will ever allow cross-play. I could see them potentially, and maybe they will, and that'll be great. That's fine, whatever. I think maybe cross-progression is probably more likely, where your Fortnite account will go across, or your Fallout 76 account will go across, since typically you're signing into Bethesda servers or Ubisoft servers or whatever. Like, your account information is there, so I could see maybe something more like that happening. I think the one downfall to all of this is that I can see PlayStation's perspective on the idea that hey, we want people to play games on our platform, and if we allow you to play with your friends, then there's no reason for your friends to buy a PlayStation. At this point in the generation, not many more. I mean, they're still going to sell a lot more PlayStations, but people have kind of decided, or they already own everything. So right now, if my friends want to play something, I might actually have to play on Xbox to play with them, because I can't play with them on PlayStation. And I'd much rather use a far superior DualShock 4 to that crappy Xbox One controller. I just said that because I know people would get mad. I really don't feel that way. But and I think that's the hard thing, right? Is that I think it's having the reverse effect of what they thought it would. Maybe early in the generation it wouldn't have, but at this point, I think it's starting to now have that reverse effect for them, and it just looks bad. The thing that I think is interesting is we see a lot of people out there being like, it's anti-consumer, it's against the gamers. Yeah, these are companies who are doing things that are making them millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Is it anti-consumer? Maybe a little bit. But I guarantee you, if Microsoft was losing money hand over fist doing this, they wouldn't be doing it either. These are still companies who are trying to make money. This is a good PR look for them, so that's why they're doing it. Because, hey, they're getting a lot of good PR. This is probably setting them up to be successful moving forward with the next generation of consoles. Like, these aren't companies who are like, hey, we have no other ulterior motive. Like, everyone's trying to make their money. That's what people are trying to do. And for Microsoft right now, this is the right look for that. For PlayStation, they're still making a lot of money, but they need to think about now what this is going to mean for the next generation more than what it means for the current generation for them. And I would like to see it change. I mean, I genuinely don't care that much, but I think overall, I think it would be a better look for them if they made that change.
Yeah. So I guess if you have an Xbox, if you're playing Fortnite on Xbox, you go over to Switch, does all of your gear and everything switch over exactly 1-to-1?
As long as your Epic account is connected to one of those consoles, initially, if it was connected to a PlayStation, you gotta start a new account.
Because I mean, it is surprising, because I think I've heard the point made that it's not it's maybe a little bit about trying to sell your own console and stuff, but those are microtransactions. Like, anytime you buy gear in Fortnite, that's a microtransaction. And if you bought it originally on a Switch, then Nintendo got a little bit of a cut of that money. Right. If you bought it originally on Xbox, you got a little bit of cut. It's like PlayStation's. They don't want you to bring over all this stuff that you bought on an Xbox. So I can see that business case. Like as a guy who helps run a business, like, I get it. I probably wouldn't make that decision either, but they at this point, it's just a huge PR problem. So I think you're right that they don't want Xbox to be so far ahead in the PR game that next generation they get screwed.
And I just got to say, I get a lot of people getting their first victory royales in Fortnite on Switch that weren't capable of doing it on PlayStation. I'm just saying.
So you're saying the game's lowered a little bit.
Yeah, I being a regular player and playing on PC, PS4, Xbox, and Switch, because as I said before, my accounts still work on all my platforms. So I don't know. I'm lucky, knock on wood. Sony hasn't caught me yet. Whatever the deal is, I can play on all of them. But yeah, everything carries over. But I will say, Justin, though, the purchases you make, though, are through Epic Store. You can't actually purchase anything in Fortnite on the Xbox Store or the PS Store or the Nintendo eShop. It's all through their thing. So that's where it's kind of weird that Sony's even able to block that.
Yep.
Because it's like, well, no, it's all on Epic servers, not on Sony servers. But yeah, it's really weird. But something needs to be done soon. Hi to Donnie and Devin, who are both in the chat. Kyle Devin says cross progression would be great, and then he told you to keep on preaching. So you appreciate your statement there.
And I do think the one thing though that will need to happen that would really push Sony to do this, if Todd Howard came out and said, you know what, we're just not going to release Fallout 76 on PlayStation until they allow crossplay, done. It would happen. That is what probably needs to happen in order for it to occur.
But what publisher is going to be that crazy to say, hey, I'm going to take away the opportunity to sell this game to 80 million consumers?
Right. Which also tells you something about how committed those publishers are actually to the idea of crossplay.
Fair enough. That would be a bold move for sure. I think this is going to come into play. Like you said, at this point, people have already made their decision as far as what consoles they have. They might pick up all of them at this point because the prices are going down and stuff and whatnot. I think this is going to come to a bigger power play on next gen. Yes. When the next Xbox announced, the next PlayStation's announced, that's where it's going to be. We as gamers, and we hate to dictate as gamers to the companies, but we should expect it to be cross-platform at this point. And if whoever's not it's gonna end up getting hurt, I think, long term there. All right, so moving on to the next question. Trash Turkey asks, what video game franchise would you like to have a cereal created for? Bonus question, what's the prize inside the box? His suggestions are maybe Halo O's with Warthog marshmallows or Castlevania Crunch with bloodstained berries. So if you guys have seen the news, Funko is doing some Funko Pop cereal, and they're doing a Mega Man one and a Cuphead one, and they're releasing little things. So I think his question was inspired by those there. So if you could bring a cereal around your gaming franchise, what would it be? I'll go first to give you guys some time to think, because I know you haven't seen these questions ahead of time. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit here, and I'm going to make a Fortnite cereal. And they have like the little llama marshmallows, and the prize inside would be a chug jug of Slurp juice. You get the little container, the cup, that you can make your own Slurp juice for your shield potions. So, Kyle, just because you don't look to be thinking as hard as Justin is, what's your answer?
I actually was thinking because I was looking something up really quick, but that's okay. That's fine. I will just kind of riff a little bit here while I look this thing up. No big deal. But the cereal that I probably would have to go with, sorry for all the typing right there, I would have to go with an Uncharted cereal.
Okay.
And then I'm not a big marshmallow fan in cereals. Like I actually kind of like healthier cereals. So I would like to try to make has anybody ever eaten Basic 4, that cereal?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't hate myself, Kyle. I eat cereal that I love. That
you went for a run tonight. You got to hate yourself a little bit. But anyway, I would like to have like the different idols from all of the games that have occurred, or the things that you're looking for, in like little like cluster formations of like fruit or something like that.
Okay.
And then the prize and obviously it's going to have to be Drake's necklace with the ring, right? Like that's what it's got to be.
Yeah,
so.
that makes sense. All right, Justin. So what's your cereal pick?
So I think I gotta go with like Metal Gear Solid, and my problem there is like it's gonna be a very violent cereal, and a lot of it's like I that's the first thing that came to my mind because it's a huge franchise, and it's like I don't know, I guess just little tiny little guys and random guns and maybe all the great catchphrases from Metal Gear. I'd really like that. I'm like maybe just like I don't know, I'm almost thinking like just make it like an alphabet, but like make it spell out only specific things. Like make it really weird. Something that Kojima would only come up with, Yeah. It's like you can only get METALGEAR and people have to spell out Metal Gear. Something stupid like that only Kojima would come up with. Basically, that's what I would. I wouldn't even. It doesn't have to be Metal Gear related. At this point, I would just be like Kojima, make me a
cereal.
Yep.
Kojima cereal. So when you pour the cereal into the milk, it turns the milk like black or something.
Yes.
Like this.
It would be something creepy and dark. Yeah. Absolutely.
What would the prize be?
Shoot. It would be something weird, like a pair of boots or something like that, like little tiny boots. I don't know. I've seen Kojima tweeting about boots a lot lately, so that's what came to mind.
I think the Death Stranding cereal would be neat, and once you ordered it, you had to sit and patiently wait for Norman Reedus to deliver it to you.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yes.
Fair enough.
That sounds like I've never been to Japan. I hope to go there someday. That sounds like the kind of experience that like you could find in Japan somewhere, like where you literally have to sit down, order something, and they're like, "All right, it'll be here in 20 minutes." When the guy shows up, and you're like, "All right, cool."
I think you're spot on there. All right, so thank you, Trash Turkey, for that question. Moving on, Chowfee at that Chowfee asks, what's your take on the Google leak? Should they be jumping into the gaming pool? So I'm sure you guys have heard that Google supposedly is working on a gaming console. Not a whole ton of details out here on this one. For me, I'm fine with it because I don't think it's even going to be a competitor to these consoles we have now, your Sony, your Microsoft, and your Nintendo, because I have a feeling, and I could be completely wrong because Google certainly has the money, I think this is just going to be a way to play the stuff from the App Store on the go without having like a tablet. Like maybe it's like a Switch-shaped device and you can play your mobile games on there. I don't think it's going to be something that actually compete with, experiences like Breath of the Wild or Horizon Zero Dawn or Halo. I don't think you're gonna get those experiences on this thing. So they could do it if they want. I don't think it's going to be a major wave in the gaming industry. I think it's going to be like a Ouya, whatever it was that was like all hyped up and then just had Google Play games and then just quickly went away. It was on the GameStop clearance sales, but that's just me. Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say, because, Ouya did so well and the Apple TV gaming has done so well.
Yeah.
So, why not? Jump in. Let's see what happens. I think that, we have obviously the big three and we've had the big three for a while. I'm very interested if if there's a company that has the money, Google has the money to do something like this. When you look at the values of companies, and I think that kind of even in some ways goes back to the crossplay thing, like Microsoft is worth way more than Sony is. If they are losing money hand over fist in their gaming market, they can. Sony can't really do that. That's the only thing that's keeping them afloat right now. So, I think I would love to see what they're going to do with it. I think it'd be really interesting. I think especially with their drive towards fiber and trying to create like national wireless signals by like with balloons and like all these other things, I think it'd be really interesting to see what their vision for gaming would be. And I'm all for them jumping in and seeing if they can shake things up a little bit. I think it also would probably show that streaming gaming is really kind of like everyone was talking about, like it's the future. Like it's no matter how much people are trashing PlayStation now, because maybe it's not perfect, but that seems to be the future we're headed towards.
I think so for sure. Justin.
Yeah, I think Kyle's leaning in the right direction. I don't think they're making a next a platform or a console. I think they're making a streaming service, and more importantly, I think they're making a storefront. Because if you could come up with, if you could maybe play PC games and stream them from a Google store, like that's pretty easy to do. Google's got the money to set up a streaming station like that, and then all of a sudden Google's getting whatever platform holders get for doing the sale, 10%, 20%, whatever it is. That's a lot of money really quick. Totally. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That this rumor kind of came out and they said it's a console, but I'm guessing it's not really. I would be shocked if someone at Google really thought it was a smart idea to release a physical console like nowadays. Even the big three, well, Sony and Xbox, I don't know. I think Nintendo will always release physical games. But I think the other two are thinking like maybe one more generation, maybe two, and then they're going to be done. I don't like it, but I think it's where the future's at too.
I think so. So we shall see as it gets closer, but I think it's definitely going to be something more along the lines of like Apple TV with a controller. We'll see how that goes. So the next question is actually only for Kyle here. Kyle, Coach Mo at Coach Hulk wants to know, why doesn't Kyle play more Overwatch or hockey with Coach?
I don't think I have hockey. I'll have to check. Maybe Josh has it and I don't know. Actually, he was playing, so I guess I do have it. So I probably should down that. But we just played Overwatch a couple nights ago. I'm always down to play Overwatch with Coach Mo.
I know. Coach is funny. So, I was at the beach house last weekend and for the holiday and stuff. And anytime like the Xbox would turn on, I'd get not a Discord message. I'd actually get a physical text message from Coach saying, "Yo, we playing?" Like just whatever it was. And I'm like, how does he have an alert set up that, like, I know he's got the app on his phone. It's like, does he have an alert when Kevin logs on? Like, we playing Fortnite. So we played Fortnite a bunch of times the last couple of days. So, but yeah, I think Coach Mo just has an alert for me, which is funny. It's funny. It's like whenever I log into Fortnite, Justin, not you, Justin Warner will message me like, "Hey, we playing Fortnite?" if he's on, because we both play on different opportunities. But then whenever I turn on my Xbox, Coach just texts me saying like, "Yo, what are we playing?" Like, so it's all the time.
Yeah, if I'm ever online and people want to play Overwatch, just ask and I will say yes.
I should. Well, I gotta get through Detroit, but I should delve back into that. Although I was terrible at it, so I don't know if that's for me or not. But we'll see. We'll see. So next question for everybody, Dev at Dev Atias. Do you have any gaming resolutions or goals this year? And if so, now that the year's halfway over, how are we doing with them? Kyle. Ha. You muted your mic, and I called on you first.
Well, I was going to ask you to do you last because we made gaming resolutions on board of video games. I got to go look mine up, though.
Okay.
Really quick.
Okay, that's fine. Justin, you prepared?
Yeah. I think I didn't make like a resolution, but if I was going to make one, I am notorious for starting games and then just not finishing them. And so far this year, I think I've actually done pretty good with that. Where I've, like honestly, in years past, even as good as God of War is, like that's the kind of game where I would have fell out halfway through or something, just because like I couldn't keep up with the pace I was playing it at or something like that. Because I go through these stages where I play way too many games, way too fast, and then I won't play games, for a long time. Luckily, I have the Switch now; it kind of helps me mitigate that. But I haven't finished. The only game I have right now that I have not finished is Ni no Kuni 2, and to my credit, that's a very long game.
Yeah,
so it's like I probably will get back to it. I do want to get back to it but like Kyle said, like after God of War, it was like I couldn't just go jump into another like AAA game because nothing was quite as good. So it was like it's hard. I think that's why I went to like a smaller Switch game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll definitely get back to that. So that's probably my biggest one, is just like finishing the games that I buy.
Yeah, it makes sense. And that was my gaming resolution too, was this year was to beat more games than I beat last year. And I did pretty good last year. And this year I certainly started off like an animal. I think January I don't know. I was used to tell you guys how many beat. I think I beat like 6 in January. So I was like knocking stuff out of the park, and then Fortnite happened and stuff slowed down because I'm an idiot and I just boot that up every time I turn something on. So, but I'm back on track. Beat 2 games this week, and I'm on track for my 3rd with Detroit. So hopefully I can get back on track and continue to knock things out and then peck away at the backlog. That's really what it's all about. Is I'm trying to get stuff off the backlog, but then what's looming over me, which is the same, I don't want to say problem, but the same thing Kyle has, is we have these game share buddies who have a lot of freaking games. And it's like, you have that and you have Game Pass. And you're like, my God, there are so many things to play on Xbox, but it's like, but I have other stuff to play too. So I'm always constantly like juggling, what do I want to play? And that's my problem. I started, was it Rise of the Tomb Raider was the last one?
Mm-hmm.
So I started Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm not really enjoying it that much. And normally if I had purchased it myself, I would like kind of force myself to get through it like I did with Uncharted 4, where eventually it got good for me. But now because I have all these other things, I'm like, well, I don't want to play this because I just want to move on to the next thing that I will enjoy. And that's what I did with Detroit. So I may go back to Tomb Raider, but it's like there's just so many options. I don't know what to focus on. That's my problem. So Kyle, did you dig up your New Year's gaming resolutions?
No, I found the show notes that I did it, but I apparently wrote those elsewhere, so I don't actually have them there. But I do remember one of them for sure was that I was not going to buy any more than 2 games per month.
That's right. I do remember you saying that.
And I think if I averaged out how many games I purchased this year, I would have hit that. There are definitely months I bought more, but there's also been a couple months where I've only bought 1 game. So I think I am at 2 games per month, probably about on average. I do think like finishing more games and all of that was on there too. I actually think I've done way worse this year than I did last year times for finishing games. Again, I played God of War. I haven't finished anything since God of War because nothing seems worth finishing at this point.
God of War just ruined you guys, basically.
It really did.
Yes, it
really did. It really has ruined things for me this year. So that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. And like I said, I think I have met that. But this mid-year sale is going to potentially really ruin that. We'll see what happens.
I keep looking at that and it's like, I don't really have the money right now to spend. So that's what's saving me right now. I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, is this really worth it? But now that you mentioned the Lego stuff, I didn't even see the Lego stuff on there. Yeah. So now I'm going to have to go look and see because I haven't played Jurassic World and I want to play that one.
Yeah, that one was fun. I got the platinum for that.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of try that one. I think it's the only one on my radar that I was like, hey, I want to play that one.
I think it's $8 if I recall.
Yeah, see, that's really tempting. Oh no, the Lego Movie too. That one's on there too. I know. And did you play that one?
I have it, but I haven't played it yet.
Okay, so those 2 I think were on there. I think I saw the Lego Movie one on there, but I didn't see Jurassic World. But yeah, for $8, it's kind of like, how could I not? So, all right, last question from Mr. Badbit at Mr. Badbit. When is Badbit coming on the show? So Mr. Badbit, as you know, is part of the Make Us Better community there, host of the Trophy Room. All I will say, Mr. Badbit, is soon. You'll be in by the end of the summer, I promise. We have some special announcements coming up and some guests booked out for the next couple weeks, but we will get you on, sir. So soon is my answer.
I mean, I would be down for doing a PlayStation-centric show with somebody.
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, speaking of which, not to do this on the air, but yeah, we gotta figure out the scheduling stuff with PlayStation and Xbox and Arcadia and get those out in a month. Say, okay, like week 2 is this show, week 3 is this show, week 4 is this show, so that we have stuff Monday through Friday every week, whether with the different shows. We'll figure that out off the air though.
That sounds like a problem for you, Kev. I'm more of a doer, not
yes, I will. Yeah. I will figure out the schedule, and then I need you to do that. So
and then you demand it of
yes,
me and Steph. Then
exactly.
We'll figure it out. Yes,
exactly. Hey, I'll edit it, so you don't have to worry about that. Just do a show anyway.
Perfect.
So just doing a little business on the air, guys. No big deal. So that wraps up the mailbag. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending the questions in. You can always hit us up on the Discord. We will ask normally the day of recording each week, so you can tag me and let me know. Or you can always tweet at us at PSVG or slide into them DMs and let us know if you don't want to give everyone a heads up as to what those questions are. Feel free to do so. Thank you so much for sending those in. Now it's time to check in. We have a little bit of time left, so let's knock out some of the news of the week.
This week in Play Some Video Game News.
So first news of the week is about a game that I think all of PSVG shunned, except for Kyle. Kyle bought it. And it's for the Nintendo Switch. Do you know what that is, Kyle?
I'm trying to think. Mario Tennis Aces or Floor Kids? Like, those are the only two things I can think of that I have.
You bought Floor Kids? Okay.
Hey, Floor Kids is good, dude.
Okay.
Don't be hating.
We all know I like Adult Swim games. That one just didn't grasp my interest.
I really like rhythm games, so
No, fair enough. But it is about Mario Aces.
Okay.
And it's about how Bowser Jr. is ruining Mario Aces.
Actually, that headline is incorrect. The single player mode is what ruins Mario Tennis Aces.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've heard that too. So it's pretty much been established that people think Mario Aces is not a tennis game. It's actually a fighting game because you can just break people's rackets and the match is over. Regardless of how well you're playing or how bad you're playing, just break the other racket and game over, you win. And Bowser Jr. seems to be a little bit OP, if you will. And he's kind of been that way since launch. And I mean, the game's been out, 2-3 weeks now, I think. And the patch hasn't come up to change it, so it's kind of weird. But at the end of June, Bowser Jr. players make up 45% of the worldwide rankings on there. So it seems like everybody realizes it, and they're just using Bowser Jr. So it's kind of like if you're playing Fortnite and you see somebody with the John Wick skin, if you see a Bowser Jr., just get out of the way and just don't do it. You're not going to win. So Kyle, you being kind of the only person playing this game, have you run into the Bowser Jr. situation at all? Or
no, because I am trading this game in when I buy Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
I heard you say that on a different show, and that made me so happy because I'm like, you're gonna love Captain Toad, and nobody likes Mario Aces.
I totally had forgotten I had pre-ordered the game, and apparently I paid for it. So I was like, well, at least try it. This will be fine. And it's the multiplayer is fun if you're playing with like friends and things like that. But yeah, I know I have not run into that issue because I genuinely just don't play it enough.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I mean, so to get Justin's word in this too, in the day and age, we see stuff where gaming developers kind of react to things pretty quickly and release patches to their nerf characters. We see it all the time in Splatoon, see it constantly in Fortnite and PUBG. We see it in Overwatch, even when they make adjustments and kind of rebalance characters. Is this like a huge swing and a miss by Nintendo, to use a tennis pun, that this has gone on this long and they haven't done a patch or anything to kind of nerf Bowser Jr. a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's like just another thing to show that like Nintendo doesn't do online very well, which is concerning because here pretty soon they want us to start paying for that, and I think that's a problem.
I will push back on that a little bit. I think that maybe they do not do like patches like we're used to in online games very well, but I think the actual quality of their online matchmaking is pretty solid. Like during the demo for Mario Tennis Aces, my matchmaking sucked. Since I have purchased the game, I've had almost no issues. Never have issues in Splatoon. Never have issues in those sorts of things with latency or anything like that. So I think they do online okay. I think they maybe just don't support games with regular balance tweaks like we're used to. Like they still obviously with Splatoon have done a ton of content, but like the balance patches are things we don't see from them very often, which I think is still important. But I think the quality of their online is not that bad.
Yeah, that's true. I've never had like I've played. I'll jump into Splatoon anytime and it works, without a doubt, and it's fast and fluid. Maybe it's just more of a per game thing where maybe they don't realize, that a game like that, like Mario, Tennis Aces is gonna have a big, huge online community that's worried about the small stuff. So maybe that's what it came down to. I feel like Mario Kart's another thing where it's like they're not constantly making updates. Like Splatoon is the one where they're like, people are really worried about multiplayer. So we'll update it constantly. And maybe they just didn't realize that they were gonna need to do that with some of the other games. But yeah, you make a good point that the quality of the actual online service is actually pretty good. So maybe we shouldn't worry too much.
That's fair. So we're moving on to the next story. Who here has Amazon Prime? Okay, cool. Just so you know, and this is an audio podcast, we all raised our hands.
we all raised our hands.
Amazon Prime is giving away lots of free games this month in celebration of Prime Day. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can have Twitch Prime, which on Twitch Prime on your PC right now, you can get lots of free games. It's kind of going on all month long with different offerings there from Pillars of Eternity, which has already happened and gone there. Battle Chef Brigade is out now if you're watching live. Not sure if you listen, if it'll still be up there. But there's games, Next Up Hero, Brutal Legend, Tacoma's hitting it, Broken Age, Tyranny, the Real String Clubs, all sorts of things. Last Blade, Metal Slug 3 is all different games coming up there for free. So if you have Amazon Prime and you sign up for Twitch Prime, get those free games going on so you can add them to your PC backlog of games, which much like Steam, you'll have sitting there and you will never ever play them, but they're there. But if you do have it, get Battle Chef Brigade. I love that game. It was one of my favorite indie games of last year. We did a whole review cast dedicated to that, so check it out if you're unsure, but it's a really cool game and it's free. So why the heck not? Next up then, sorry, because I always need to talk about it real quick. Fortnite Season 5. Some details dropped over the past couple days. Season 4 is wrapping up this week or early next week, actually. And if you missed it right before 4th of July, a giant rocket was launched in-game, which kind of made its rounds online, which players were able to drop in live, watch it take off. I was there. We've seen this rocket in what's been deemed like the enemy's lair. Kind of just sitting there for months wondering what was going to happen with it, and they kind of announced like, hey, it's going to launch, be in game at this time. It's going to happen one time only, so if you're not there when it happens, you won't see it. And it shot off the rocket, and it apparently bounced off a dome, which I wasn't aware existed inside this world, put a crack in the dome, and then blew up parts of the map again. They're really just beating up this map, which is really weird because they have so many buildings and places for you to go to, and they're just kind of blowing them all up slowly but surely. But now it looks like these cracks are apparently rifts. It may lead to Season 5, which is happening July 12th in the morning. We'll run for 10 weeks and end on September 20th like normal. They're thinking it's going to have something to do with time travel now. This bomb somehow opened up rifts because there's some leaks of different skins that show like some Wild West. We have some, we've seen Mafia style, like zoot suit criminals, gangsters there, the Tommy guns in game now, things like that, kind of leaning towards. So possibly we'll see some Bill and Ted inspired things happen as well. But yeah, it looks like the next one will drop and possibly have something to do with a time travel is what we're looking at. Also, the playground mode is now available, which a lot of people are making a big deal about. I don't see a big deal. What Playground is, for those who don't know, is a place you can jump in with your friends and kind of build things a la like Minecraft if you want to, and kind of practice your fort building, stuff like that. You can shoot each other if you want, and you'll respawn back instead of the game just ending. It's literally just a playground, but I think for me, what makes it interesting is possibly leading up to custom games where you can play with your friends, because each playground is the entire Fortnite map. It's not just a secluded area. It gives you the whole map for just up to 4 people to run around and play. So I think they're slowly building up to allowing private lobbies, which would be game-changing yet again for Fortnite, I think, there too. So I know you guys don't play it. You really should, blah, blah, blah.
I have played it. It's just...
boring?
No, I don't know that
I would agree with that, Kyle. Kyle, I heard it here. You said it's boring. I understand. I agree.
I just think it's less fun than other games that I have played. But I'm glad everyone else in the world apparently likes it.
Yeah.
Other than
yeah.
Justin.
Other than Justin. No, there's a lot of people that don't like it. Believe me, I know. I try to get numerous guys to get in there and play it, and my brother-in-law included. He swears by PUBG, and he plays PUBG constantly, like every single night. And he'll get like 3 or 4 chicken dinners in a night. Like he's that good. He's really good at it. But I'm like, dude, I've played it, and I play it with him occasionally too. And I'm like, the game is not polished at all. And at this point, it really should be. It should be better than it is right now. And I agree. I do like the more realistic strategy in PUBG versus Fortnite, which is arcadey and sometimes luck, depending on what you get and how things and who you're playing. But PUBG definitely just needs to work better, and less jank would be appreciated. They continuously make improvements, but it's like, hey, you got a second map. We didn't fix stuff on the first map, but here's a second map, which is also really broken. Have fun with that. And then at E3, they showed like, hey, we're going to have 2 more maps out by the end of the year. I'm like, it took you like 2 years to give us the map that's been on PC for over a year already, and it's broken. You're going to bring out 2 more maps? Like, it doesn't make sense. So they need to figure that out, make that game better than it is for me. But the last news story we'll talk about right now is something a little interesting. I kind of flew under the radar. I haven't seen a ton of people talking about this. The vice president of creative at Ubisoft Canada, Lionel Reynaud, kind of said that the possibility with the technology here, they have the technology that will break current limits of memory, but will be prepared for next-gen consoles. They're saying that in the future, we may see games like Assassin's Creed take on several historical periods. So because you're in the Animus, that kind of plot-wise, story-wise, it could fit where you're jacking in and out of the Animus and experiencing different stories, kind of traveling through time instead of being stuck in one for massive amounts of time. Maybe we see like it broken down to different pieces, but that also would allow for things like Far Cry and Watch Dogs to take place in different countries or different places. So every Watch Dogs, every Far Cry has been isolated to, I mean, they're massive maps, but they're isolated to a specific place in the world. We might see Watch Dogs where it's in Chicago and California instead of just one or the other. And Far Cry might be in, Caribbean and then somewhere else, like kind of multiplayer and jumping around. So Ubisoft is saying basically if the technology can catch up, they're prepared to take their franchises to the next level with jumping all over the place. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Is that something you'd be interested in, or you kind of like, don't mess with the formula, it's good now?
So my first reaction is I don't have any more time. Like, I just don't. I want to have more time to experience that. Because basically what I feel like they're saying is like, hey, the experience that we are giving you in Assassin's Creed Origins, you could have that, but you could go to 3 places. It took me how many hours to finish the one place? I don't have time for the other 2 places right now. Like, give me another game in a year, looking at you, Odyssey, and I'll play it then. That's just my only thing. It's like, I think that's cool. I don't have any more time.
Justin?
Yeah, same thing, kind of. I kind of don't believe that they could make like Watch Dogs specifically. Like, if they're gonna do 2 cities, I feel like both cities are gonna be slightly lacking. The technology might get caught up, but I don't think the amount of developers needed to fill those spaces. Because like you look at a Naughty Dog game or a Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto, like those worlds, yeah, it's one city. Well, Grand Theft Auto is kind of multiple cities, but they spend all this time filling those places. And that's what makes those games so great. Like, if just because you can do 2 different looking style island, that doesn't seem that hard. I feel like you could do that right now. That's not the point. The point is that you have to dump all this time into filling one of those areas. So I think it's just kind of like a weird thing to bring up, because like I don't think anyone cares. Like, just make whatever island or city you're doing, just fill it. Fill it with the stuff that we want to do. Maybe not like Far Cry where it's like every 10 steps you have something to do. That can backfire sometimes, but yeah, that's kind of like my thought. I was like, I don't really care, because like I would rather you focus on Chicago or San Francisco for Watch Dogs and focus on a particular setting for everything else. So
fair enough. We'll leave it at that then. So, fellas, we're out of time, so we're going to wrap things up for this evening. So, Justin, where can people find you? And if you're working on anything, what do you want to plug?
Just check out go on to Discord, the Make Us Better Discord now, and chat with us. I don't think the Make Us Better guys were prepared for how much we like to talk all day. Because I can't, I'm on there some days and often I'm not, because I cannot keep up with you guys. But go on there, like, if you're the kind of person who doesn't get a lot of gaming talk at home, or doesn't have a lot of friends at home who talk video games, go on our Discord, and you're gonna get plenty of that all day long. So basically any time of the day, you're good to talk video games.
Fair enough. Where can people find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Justin Pickard.
Fair enough. Kyle, sir, where can people find you, and what else do you work on?
Well, I do this little gaming podcast each week called Bored with Video Games. Every Thursday, you can find it in the PSVG feed. Me and my good friend Josh talk about board games and video games and awesome content around them. You can find us at Bored with VG on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to talk to me personally, you can find me at Psychocross, CYCOCROSS. That is on Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network. I have some friend code on Switch. I don't know what it is. But Board Game Geek, I am also at Psychocross. And hey, that's actually what I am on Steam too. I just can't have any friends because I haven't spent any money yet.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't put $5 in my wallet. So eventually on Steam. But hey, I got Psychocross, so I was pretty stoked about that.
And yeah, just get Twitch Prime and download all the free games they can find.
They are all sitting there.
There you go. See, you're all set. You're all set then. So you can find me, of course, at PSVG Kevin. Follow the show at PSVG. Like Justin said, although Sean's in the chat now saying he was prepared, I don't think he was prepared. He has no idea. Our Discord is crazy, and I think we've actually toned it down a little bit since making the move. I think we talked way more before.
We have definitely toned it down.
Yeah. So I think we've kind of either we're all super busy, whatever the case is going on. But yeah, it's a great community. We love everybody over there. Things are transitioning extremely well. I've played with some people I've never played before. I know Coach has mentioned as well too. So it's a great place to link up with some like-minded folks. So definitely check that out. Hit up the website psvg.blog. And then lastly, of course, thank you once again to all of our amazing producers out there, our patrons there, helping us fight the good fight and donating to a great cause. Us. A little biased, but I think it's a great cause. I will tease a little something. Donnie sent me some receipts for stuff he has purchased, thanks to our amazing patrons, as Sean Capri would say. So I won't spoil the news there, but I do know what's coming up soon. We did purchase a new microphone for Seth with our patron money. So he's got a new microphone now, a nice Blue Yeti Snowball, I believe is what he got. So already making things better thanks to all of you. So make sure to hit up patreon.com/makeusbetter to learn more, or to throw us a shilling or two, if you will. But most importantly, beyond going to the Discord, beyond visiting patreon.com/makeusbetter, beyond visiting the website psvg.blog, we ask that, as always, you remember to never stop gaming.